Explanation there. Neama Rahmani is a former federal prosecutor. He joins me now. Neama, in light of that explanation, you need to go back to the fact that he was denied bail. So what are the chances he would be granted bail today, 24 hours later, when the material facts of the case do not appear to have changed?
Todd, lawyers say all sorts of interesting things, and the fact that Combs turned himself in really doesn't matter. We're talking about some very serious charges here, drug trafficking and sex trafficking, and they carry a presumption of detention without bond. And, had Diddy been allowed to be free on a $50 million bond like they had asked, we would be treating him differently because he's rich and famous. And bond is not appropriate when someone is a risk of flight and a danger to the community. And the judge found that he was both. Obviously, here's someone with almost unlimited means, worth $1 billion, access to private jets, but it's really that danger. And we've all seen the video of him beating Cassie in 2016. And there was also evidence that he tried to bribe and intimidate the victims in this case. And I think that's why the judge denied bond.
On its face, this indictment seems airtight, obviously very salacious. Take off your prosecutor hat, put on your defense hat. If you are Diddy's defense team, how do you attack this indictment and fight these charges?
Todd, this is going to be a very difficult case to defend because of that video. But if I had to defend it, I would have to argue that the sex with these workers was consensual. Surprisingly, there were no allegations involving minors. There was a lot of rumors leading up to this arrest, but you're talking about sex trafficking, which means that the sex acts were caused by force, fraud, or coercion. So if you look at that indictment, there's a lot of discussion of these workers being drugged and being forced to participate against their will. So the defense is going to have to argue that this is all consensual. Obviously a very uphill battle when you have at least 8 or 9 victims who have filed civil lawsuits against Diddy.
Prosecutors say the investigation here is ongoing, could expand the charges going forward. And one would assume that with a big name like Sean Diddy Combs, that he would be the big fish in this case. Do you think this case, though, goes beyond Diddy, that there are even bigger fish?
I think it does. And, I live here in Los Angeles, a mile away from Diddy's home. And this is one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood. And there's a lot of different names being floated around. But if I was an individual and I went to one of these freak-offs or one of Diddy's parties, I would be very concerned. Just because they haven't been charged doesn't mean they're not going to be charged at some point in time in the future. This may be an Epstein-type case where there's a lot of rich and famous people in Hollywood that should be shaking in their boots right now and possibly lawyering up. They actually participated in these sex acts with Combs.
In light of that, need a quick answer here. Does this case go to trial or does Diddy plead?
It absolutely goes to trial. There's nothing that the feds will offer that Diddy will accept because we're talking about 10 or 15-year mandatory minimum sentences in federal prison, Todd.
Great answers. Really set the stage for us in what is going to be potentially the trial of the year. Next year, we'll see. Neama Rahmani, thank you so much. Appreciate it.